The rising cost of petroleum products in recent times has revealed the need to adopt renewable sources of energy, which are not only sustainable, but could slow down the effects of climate change. This, among other issues, will be examined in the course of this program. Welcome to Green Angle. I am Esther Mopariola. Early last month, about 100 million litres of petrol imported into the country were said to be adulterated, containing high methanol quantities above Nigeria's specification. Now, many unsuspecting buyers of the product had their vehicles damaged or generating sets destroyed due to the adulterated content. Now, as the government took up steps to mop up the adulterated product, the development resulted in long queues at fuel stations in major cities across the country. But this development puts on the spotlight the hazardous effect of the adulterated petrol to the environment. With renewed calls for world leaders to move away from its dependence on fossil fuels, the current situation in Nigeria may perhaps be a pointer for an urgent need to move towards an alternative source of energy. Environmental activists and researcher Mfon Edet gives insight on the impact of adulterated petrol to the environment, just as Nigeria works towards reducing carbon emissions by 20% and reaching a net zero target by 2060.
The effect of adulterated fuel on the environment cannot be overemphasized because there's a very big increase in emission of total hydrocarbon. Carbon monoxide is also increased as well. Hydroxide and respiratory particulate matter as well is being emitted into the air, and so there's an increase in the air pollution is it's going to be very, very high. And when it's high, our air is polluted. A whole lot of environmental areas are affected. Our lakes and streams are acidic. The nutrient balance in our soil it's depleted. Damage to our forest, farmlands, and it contributes a whole lot to acidic rains. And on the environment, we are talking about diversifying, going back to agriculture, and then we are having things that affect farmlands and and whatever goes in, it's more or less like garbage in, garbage out. Using back fuel, it's going to bring more or emission of more harmful particles to our health. And not just on our environment, on human health as well. So on our health, we have so many cases or rampant cases of heart and lung effects, and even people that are living with asthma and other health issues will be really, really affected. It's a very, very bad. It's going to affect us actually very bad. We don't have other alternative means to move. We've been totally relying on fuel for so long. Very many countries developed countries have moved, and not really moved per se, but they've started introducing other alternative source of power. But Nigeria is still relying on it. We are not with. Our reliance has always been on it, and we should move. But how do we move when so many things are not in place? And I think it's a wake-up call. It's a wake-up call for us to start thinking alternative means of energy that we can use that are even within our own reach. Solar solar, wind, and we're still relying on hydro. But the solar is the one that is more, that is the one that I know that we'll always have. And it's just making it affordable. And we have countries that have solar farms and expand in. I think we should be able to reinvest in that solar. If we can invest in, I think it would really help a whole lot. And in ensuring that we have power in the nation, solar wind as well. We can also develop in wind energy as well. But all this will need years and years of to develop, and start now to start developing or researching more on them to ensure that with time we can have it at affordable rates for everyone. Number one thing, it would be coming up with policies that will be people-oriented policies, and not just the policies, but the implementation of those policies. What our government should do is to ensure that the provision of other sources, other alternative means of energy, but it's another thing for it to be affordable. Are they going to be affordable? If we diversify now to solar energy, how affordable is it going to be? Diversify to wind, is it going to be affordable? So, but if our government can come up with policies that would regulate and come up with programs that will make this to be available and affordable, I think it will go a whole long way to helping the people. People-oriented policies, that when these policies are made, will be geared towards ensuring that the lives of people have access to it and at affordable rates. Final thought, we are hoping that this does not repeat itself. The bodies that need to monitor the importation of fuel should do their job effectively. They should leave no stone unturned, because the effect it has on us, it's worse than, you could see from the cost of cleaning up and all that was enormous. So all that should be avoided, and we should ensure that we start thinking renewable energy, other sources of renewable energy, solar, wind, and we should also think of our government should really think at achieving the sustainable goals. More funds should be made available for research into diversify into other clean energy. Those are my thoughts.
While there is a global commitment in cutting down carbon emissions to stave off the dangerous effects of climate change, a retired builder in Lagos, Nigeria, is making use of organic waste to produce charcoal briquettes, which can serve as an alternative source of clean energy. Wale Karunwi is a retired builder who is now an integrated farmer. He runs a manufactory at his backyard of his home, producing briquettes, a compressed block of coal dust or other combustible biomass material used for fuel to start a fire. Wale makes use of organic waste materials such as bamboo, coconut shells and rice husks in producing these briquettes. To him, this is his own contribution in fighting climate change.
We don't have to cut trees because we have enough waste to create. Instead of using charcoal, wood charcoal, we can use different materials to create charcoal. Don't take it or leave it. No matter of how much gas you want to produce in this country, we cannot move away from charcoal. And in Africa, especially the East Africa, West Africa, we will still use a lot of charcoal. That means cutting down trees. So because of that, let's take away trees, let's take away wood, let's go on other products. And we can see on display with us now, you can see different materials which we have now converted into charcoal. Well, biochar, briquettes. What we produce more is smokeless. Smokeless does not mean it does not have flame. That's a mistake we make. It can be flammable, because sometimes when some briquettes that we have, we call them BI briquettes, when they burn, they actually emit blue flames. So you can see the intensity of the heat. They burn slower, they're hotter than normal charcoal. Although there are some hardwood charcoal that are very hot too. But notwithstanding, briquetting can be either highly carbonized or non-carbonized. Like you see a lot of people doing sawdust. Sawdust can be non-carbonized. They use them industrially.
Some of these materials, he says, are either bought or collected as trash. He is confident that in no distant time, briquettes will commonly be used, just as there is a growing demand for this clean source of energy.
But if you see the process where we go to creating carbon from this biological waste, I mean, it amazes you. I mean, it burns and then you see the gases being burnt off. So we have clean carbon, clean energy. And you see, ordinary biochar, that charcoal you see, is a wonderful product. It can take toxins away. You say it's teeth whitener, activated carbon. I mean, you can use it for water purification. They use it in the oil industry, all over the things. And there are many things you can use biochar for, and biochar can come in different forms. For instance, banana is one of the toughest material we can get. Even when you deposit money to buy coconut shells, it's not there, because coconut is being used for many things. Some people use it raw like that, which is not safe. We don't have enough coconut in Nigeria, forget it. So most of the coconuts we see in Nigeria today is from the West Coast. The other one, like bamboo, well, bamboo is neither here nor there. We need to focus on a few places to get our bamboo.
So how do you get them?
But most of the bamboo we rely on more is when they use it for construction, use it for construction scaffold. So we go there because once it's dry. Although that is, if we wanted to use it for activated carbon, it's not the best. We use very fresh bamboo. Because the construction site, paints, nail and all that is going into it. But it can be converted to briquettes. You see the people who produce rice, a lot of them will beg you, please come and take my rice husk. Because it's costing them money to evacuate. Because rice husk in particular is not used for animal feed and all that. So it's like, let's throw it away. But it costs us money to take it from them too. Wood, charcoal, we're not the original users of the wood. So we say we recycle it. It comes at a cost too, because we collect it and when we collect it, we come to process it again before we even. Yes, because at that point they're carbonized. Because the fines are more carbonized than the bigger wood. So it's safer for us to use there. Anyway, basically, to get waste, it started to become some problem. Because you can come and you have to pay for your waste, or the cost of evacuating waste, cost of transportation is not too cheap.
With only 4 individuals that make up his team, these briquettes are produced using local methods. They are even packaged to be sold in local supermarkets, with some selling for as low as 300 naira.
We're going into the shops now because we have a variety of products. For instance, we have, you saw what we're going to ship to one of the supermarkets already. And because of our capacity, we have slowed down a little bit. Because already, when we get a few demands, we are awaiting our machines to come to help us upskill. Otherwise, people are waiting on us. When is it going to start? Because we are the last trade fair, and the question is, after we buy from here, will we get this product in? We say yes. There's acceptability of it, but the capacity building there. Because only a few people are into briquette making now. I'm happy that more and more people are trying to get into it. But I can tell you for free that Nigeria is so blessed. Every part of Nigeria, we have something we can use to make briquettes. One of the major things that drove me into a thing like this was I was looking for how do we empower people. I'm first and foremost a builder. I won't say I'm retired but not tired. And then I started to look at what can we do for the environment. Then by chance, I stumbled into a briquette machine. I went to Lagos State, went for a training program, and I saw the briquette machine. I said, what's a briquette machine? What does it do? Oh, they now told me what it does. So I came back to research it, and I came to it. Then I realized that this is a good program for empowerment, women, the youth, and the old.
Green Angle returns after this break. Stay with us. There are increased efforts to reduce, reuse and recycle waste into durable materials to promote a clean and healthy environment. Well, this comes just as some locals and teachers in Lagos suburb were trained on how to convert used plastic nylon bags into durable items, even as residents of Ilasamaja Community in Briquette were sensitized on the impact of plastic waste to the environment and the opportunities available in recycling and upcycling.
Lagos generates about 13,000 metric tons of waste daily, and the bulk of it are plastic waste. But these items can be recreated into valuables. In Ilasamaja Community, a Lagos suburb, some school teachers are trained on how to turn used nylon bags into durable creative items. They are cut into bits in a precise manner and then joined to form a yarn, which are then rolled and crocheted to form these reusables.
This is a table mat made of 200 used nylon bags. And here in my hand is a shopping bag made of 25 used nylon bags. One can marvel at the creativity of not just providing sustainable solutions, but turning waste into wealth.
Every time I go to the market with one of my bags, people ask me, where did I get it? Where can they buy it? And I always tell people, I'll teach you how to make one, so you can now teach other people how to make one. Bags that I've made, I've been using them for the past 2 years, and they're still with me. If you take them to the market and something stains them, you buy meat, the meat stains the bag, you just wash it, hang it, it's ready to go with you the next time.
Members of this community are delighted at this training and have great expectations.
Instead of using all this nylon, throwing it away to disorganize or to mess up our environment, You can use them to make many things. No knowledge is waste. And they are told that nothing is waste. So anything you think is waste can be converted to a useful thing again.
In a related development, residents of Ilasamaja Community in Briquette, Lagos, were sensitized on the importance of proper plastic waste disposal, its impacts to the environment, and the opportunities available with recycling and upcycling.
I think when you see here in Lagos, when it rains, there's so much flooding, and a lot of that is to do with plastic pollution. The plastics, they compromise the ability for the rainwater to get to dissipate, and so as a result, there's a lot of flooding. And so I think you can see firsthand in Lagos when it rains how much there's a need for plastics to be managed properly.
A ton of wasted PET bottles come into the sea and are floated to the Ilasamaja community. And we see this as an opportunity for the women to make some more income without exactly exerting any capital or exerting time or energy. These plastic bottles are available in the community, and so it's easy for them to pick, sort, and then trade this in for some cash, which will help them develop themselves and their families.
So we're essentially bringing everybody's attention here to say that we need to do more. We need to hold ourselves to account. Interestingly, most of the pollution here they are not waste from here, they are from other places, and it's important that we talk about that, and that's what the Adulterated project is doing. Recycling gives us an opportunity not just to be conscious of our environment, but to make money, to empower people, to drive economic empowerment, especially for rural dwellers here.
Most of the youth, maybe probably after their education, maybe prior to them getting a job, they can go into recycling as it sees as a business, become an aggregator, most likely a recycler, and any time that they get a white-collar job, and they can even invest more in recycling.
The initiative were appreciative of the gesture, saying the project hasn't only empowered members of the community, but also improved their household income.
Bọ́lá Lansa ni Alhaji Ninusa, ansa ike, ansa kan, ansa pali, gbogbo a máa yọ gbogbo ẹ̀ sọ́tọ̀ọ̀tọ̀. Káànù yẹn ọ̀tọ̀ ló máa wà, pali ọ̀tọ̀ ló máa wà, ike ọ̀tọ̀ ló máa wà, take away ọ̀tọ̀ ló máa wà, ọ̀tọ̀ọ̀tọ̀ a máa ń sa sọ́tọ̀ọ̀tọ̀ ni, so a máa kó sọ́tọ̀ọ̀tọ̀. Wọ́n dẹ̀ wọ́n ń rà lọ́wọ́ wa, kíjọba náà kàn help wa, kí wọ́n máa fún wa ní nǹkan tá a máa sà sí, torí àárín nǹkan tá a máa sà sí, àdẹ̀ ní nǹkan tá a máa fi bọ ọwọ́, torí a máa ń fọwọ́ gbégbẹ́, a máa ń fọwọ́ gbé gbogbo ẹ̀. So bí nẹ́ẹ̀tì nǹkan àpò tá a lè máa kó sí, kí wọ́n máa kó fún wa.
Ragolis la máa ń ṣà, so Ragolis ta dẹ̀ ń ṣà Briquette ní Àjàyí Ọláìyá, òun la ti ń ṣà. So àwa náà dẹ̀ máa ń mú Ragolis wá, torí nǹkan téèyàn bá fi ń ṣe owó, tó ti fi ń jẹun tí ò fi jalè, àwa náà dẹ̀ máa ń gbé lárugẹ. So a dúpẹ́ wípé ẹ tó wá bá wa gbé Ragolis wá, àti can àti pálí, gbogbo ẹ̀ tí wá bá wa gbé lárugẹ. A dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ ẹ̀yin tiwa ní tòtítọ́.
It is believed that simple measures such as this will go a long way in protecting and preserving the environment.
And that's about it on this week's edition of Green Angle. Until I come your way next time, remember, together we can build a sustainable world. I am Esther Makwariola. Bye for now.